it's doicha Shabbos. The shaila is, enechanami taka, it's midei raisa, there's a drasha b'yoyim hashmini yimol b'sara lasai, that you do mila v'afilu b'Shabbos. Whether it's techuya hutra, you do it even b'Shabbos. The shaila is, just like you find by other deiraisas, the mitzvah of shofar, the mitzvah of lulav that falls out, Sukkot, the first day Sukkot falls out on Shabbos. So even though midei raisa you're supposed to take lulav, midei raisa you're supposed to blow shofar, Zok Gemara, Gzeira de Rabbi, Shemi Yavirenu Dal Ramas B'Shos Rabim, and they were matcher a mitzvah. They said, don't blow shofar, don't take lulav. So the Mela, Frek Toisves and Megillah, Daf Daled, why did you say the same thing also by Mila? Shema Yavirenu, what are you going to be maver? The Taisus Yom Tov explains in Sukkah. The Taisus Yom Tov explains afterwards you're going to bring the baby, I guess, to show the baby to see if it was a good Mila, because maybe before it could be Chai Noises Atzmai. But the Shema Yavirenu is a problem. Could be you're going to take the knife, you're going to take the show to learn, but you're going to go Eitzel Chacham, just like you're going to go to Chacham to teach you how to blow shofar, and you go to Chacham to see with lulav, so you go to the Chacham, they'll teach you. As I frek Toisvis. Toisvis is Shaila. Toisvis says two terutzim. Oh, very good. That's going to be the fourth teretz, and we'll speak about it. Is it taka lahadya? We'll get to it. Toisvis says, Nachum, the Shaila is, what do you have to, why did, enechanami taka milas doicha Shabbos, but the Rabbanon, l'chayre should be matcha that it shouldn't be doicha Shabbos. Toisvis says two terutzim. One teretz is that Mila is more chamer. Shekei nichrasa allow yud gimel brises. It's very chamer, the Mila. So Mamela, even though be a Saida, these Gzeirim, the Rav Hashem Yavirenu, Lamaisa, they came out, they decided, they said not to be matcha Mila. The second teretz Zok Toisvis, why Gzeir the Rabbi, why we're not matcha Mila. Toisvis' second teretz is that Mila is different than the other mitzvahs. Lulav, anybody takes a lulav. So Mamela, it's a Gzeir, anybody who takes, everybody takes lulav. So Mamela, it's these Gzeir Shema, you're going to go to the Chacham. Masha Enkein, Mila. Mila is the choni abaki, right? You have to put in a vest a lot of koiches, you gotta, it's a lot of time to put in and to be able to be a moil. Zok Toisvis, only a baki. So since it's only a baki, Memela, we're not choishish. A baki anyways knows how to do Mila, so there's no yelach etzel chacham. He knows a Mela, there's nothing what to be choishish. That's Toisvis' second teretz. The third teretz is the Ran. The Ran says a teretz like this. The Ran is in Rosh Hashanah, Daf Ches in the Daf Arif. The Ran says, you know why there's no Gzeir, the Rabba Shema, that Shema Yavirenu Dal Ramas B'Shos Rabim? He says, we're only geyser, only b'makom where it's a mitzvah, al kol yachid v'yachid. All of Klal Yisrael is mechuyev. Shofar lulav, everybody's mechuyev, everyone. Memela, if somebody's going to be running with a lulav to the Rav, everybody's busy doing the mitzvah, there's not going to be other people to remind him. By Mila is just a yachid. There's a yachid here and there that does a Mila on Shabbos. Since it's only a yachid, you have the Gemara in Eruvin, Rab Mitri Adadi, and Pshat is not Rab Mitri Adadi, that's Vaita. You have Stam, only a yachid is doing it, so the other people that are not doing the mitzvah are not torrid. They're not torrid in the mitzvah. So Mela, if you see somebody else walking outside with a baby before or after, you'll know to tell him. Mashinga with a lulav, everybody's very busy with the dalad minim. So Mamela, if somebody's going to go out with the dalad minim, he's not going to be reminded that it's aser. Min adoima is also shofar. Not everybody knows, but it's not the chachma ve'ein malacha. But it's not the no. I don't want to about shofar. Everybody has the mitzvah.
Yeah, but not everyone's going to be doing it.
Everyone is being oisek in the mitzvah. Could be not everyone's blowing, but everyone's oisek in the mitzvah. If not blowing, then you're being yotze with the shmiyah of the shofar. By Mila, you have the Yechidim that have the mitzvah. Lamaisa, it's very kedai to shtel to the Chassam Sofer. The Chassam Sofer says a big chiddush ladina in Hilchos Megillah and Hilchos Purim. The halacha is that b'di'evid, one could read the Megillah already, Erev Purim, the night Purim, Leil Purim, the Megillah, you could read it already from Plag. That's the halacha. It's b'di'evid. Even the minyan over here, the plag minyan, Erev Purim, they don't read the Megillah, it's b'diavad. The halach is you're allowed to read them b'diavad. What happens if Purim falls out Matzah Shabbos? This past year, Purim falls out Matzah Shabbos. Are you allowed to read the Megillah Shabbos afternoon after plag? But even b'diavad, are you allowed to read the Megillah? Are you allowed to read the Megillah? So Pashtus, you tell me, Avada not, Gzeira de Rabbi, Shem Yaveren, Dal Ramas. Zokta Chasam Sofer, Al Pi this Ran. I'm saying it to bring out the idea, to understand. Zokta Ran, since the Chasam Sofer, Al Pi this Ran, that since no one's reading the Megillah Purim Shabbos afternoon, Erev Purim, it's the few Yechidim that are being Soymech on the B'diavad. So Meila Zokta Chasam Sofer, you can read the Megillah Esther Shabbos afternoon, after the plag. Chdush Chasam Sofer on the Shulchan Aruch. What'd it say? No, but the plag minyan doesn't read the Megillah because it's a b'diavad. We're going ba'ifin that a person has to do a b'diavad. If you have such a hechatimtza to be able to do a Shabbos, they'll... One more point, Lagabi, this idea of Rabbim, that only if everybody's doing it, but it's important to point out that there's a change when it's a chayvas Rabbim that everybody's mechuyev, and sometimes it's a chayvas hatzibur. Why? The Goyen asks, a Ma'aser Rav, the Agoyes, he asks, Megillah dis Shema Yavirenu Dal Ramas B'Shos Rabbim. What's about Keheles, Shira Shirim, those that were noyik to read it from a klaf? So why over there do you read it on Shabbos? Why is there no Shema Yavirenu? As I frek the Goyen. So he says, because the pshat is, it's not every single person's mechuyev. These are chayvus hatzibur. By chayvus hatzibur already, we're not chayshish. Over there, you say Rabbi mitchiri adadi, the Gemara in Erevin. So when it's a chayvus hatzibur, he brings a riot kriyas haTorah every single Shabbos. Why we're not mavatal the kriyas haTorah, the takanas kriyas haTorah Shem Yavirenu? The teretz is because it's a chayvus hatzibur. Not every single person's mechuyev. Mashen came back to Milah to understand. Milah, Avada, everyone's mechuyev in the mitzvah Milah, but it's only negay those few people that have kids, that Yom HaShmini, Milah Bezmana, the 8th day of Shabbos, that's where it's Ne'emar.
If the parents are not allowed to be on Shabbos, then that's the Kali
You're taka right. It's a good shiloh what you're asking. You're asking that Lamaisa will have a hechatimtza that it's a chayvas satzibur. I mean, but Lamaisa, it's only one person who's going to do it. It's one. You're right. I don't think the chiyuv is the problem. I think it's one person doing the mitzvah. If everybody's doing the mitzvah, there's a problem. It's one person doing it. They speak about it. The fourth teretz, which Rabbi you mentioned already before, the fourth teretz, why you don't say Shem Yavirenu, is because he's a klal, something that says mefurish in the Torah. Chachamim don't come and say differently. It says, Tosfos brings about it in Bab Metzir by Ribis, Lashon HaTosfos, Ulafi Torah hetira behedyo lerotzul hamacham chachamim devreim. Something that the Torah says mefurish, the chachamim didn't say. To be oiker, Rosh Hashanah dalad minim. The Torah says the Torah doesn't say bedafka take b'Shabbos. Mashenga by Milah, the Torah says mefurish. 1 minute. The Torah Tamima also brings this same teretz that pshat is something that's not something that says mefurish. The Torah says mefurish. The Chachamim didn't make a gzeira. And on the Hagoyis over there, the Azharava, he has this already. He says it's mefurish. It's not mefurish. It's a drasha. Where does it say that it's Doicha Shabbos? The Torah says b'yoyim hashmini yimo b'saro lasoi. B'yoyim hashmini afilu b'Shabbos. That's mefurish. That's not mefurish. It's a no. Avada tzedayraisa. But it's a drasha. It's not mefurish. What is mefurish? Mefurish would mean if the Torah says lahedya. This is not mefurish. Oh, Reb Tzvi will get to that in a minute. Very good. Ramosha says the 1 minute. Let's just step by step. Very good. So the Vaila we have the Shaila could be it's not mefurish because Lamaisa mefurish means if the Torah is made klar lahed you do it on Shabbos. Here the Torah says do it on Shabbos. The Torah says b'yoyim hashmini. B'yoyim hashmini, a drasha, one second. The Pri Megadim, this is a Gavaldig Amar Mokum. This is a Choshev Amar Mokum that I was showed. Someone showed it to me, and I want to share it weiter. The Pri Megadim in the Psicha, in the Akdama to Hachaim, he declares a shaila, and he declares, and he wants to know, a drasha, is that called mefurish or not? Yeah, he declares the shaila. He declares something. He declares on a drasha. And he declares also on halacha l'Moshe Misinai. Something that's a drasha and something that's halacha l'Moshe Misinai, is that called mefurish or not? What the Olam's koching over here, if it's called mefurish or not, the Pri Megadim declares this shaila. And the Pri Megadim says, I have a raya. What's my raya? Tosfos, what we just started. Tosfos asks a shaila why we don't have Gzeira Derabba. Right, as I frek Tosfos, why don't we have Gzeira Derabba? Says the Pri Megadim, what do you mean? The Torah says, with a drasha, b'yoyim hashmini, it's mefurish. El al karchach, that a drasha is not called mefurish. As I talked to Pri Megadim, drasha is not called mefurish, and that's why Tosfos never said the teretz b'yoyim hashmini to why we don't say gzeira derabba, because it's mefurish. However, lamaisa in Igros Moshe in Hachaim, Siman Kuf Lamed Daled, Ramoshe brings this shaila, he brings this teretz, that the reason why they didn't make Gzeira Derabba because it's mefurish in the Torah. So he says, it's mefurish. It's not mefurish, it's a drasha. But he says, it is mefurish. And it's not a steer to the Pri Megadim. Why is it mefurish? Because if you have the parsha saying something, and you make a drasha, extra something that's a drasha, that's not mefurish. Over here, the whole pasuk in Parshas Tazria, B'yoyim hashmini yimo b'sara lasai, the whole pasuk is extra. It didn't have to say. We know everything already from the parsha in Bereshis. Since it's extra, memela, that's called mefurish in the Torah. So memela, atkan we have klar that the milah, which is a mitzvah deraisa, that you do it even in Shabbos, even though it's klar chil Shabbos, whether it's chabura makalkal b'chabura, but it's klar you do it on Shabbos. And we said that we're not lamaisa the Rabbanu weren't geyser to push it off. Let's try to move on here, call it to the part 2, the chelak a little bit in halacha shaila, one of many. There's a lot to speak about, but let's try to at least get one of the items that come out while doing the bris. The etzem bris is doicha Shabbos. We just said b'yoyim hashmini yil b'sar lasa, it's doicha Shabbos. That's klar. Something that you don't have to do on Shabbos. You forgot to get the knife in it, you have to be Mechal Shabbos, it's not Doicha Shabbos. We saw it in Shulchan Aruch. Only to be mild the baby, to go do something you forgot to do, it's not Doicha Shabbos. Let's see over here like this, a couple of shilas that are really muktzah, the Rabbanon. We'll start with the knife. These the knife, these the arla, and then these the offer. The knife. What's the halacha with the milah knife? B'shas the milah, we have no question, because the Torah says you do the milah. It doesn't make a difference if it's muktzah. We said the Rabbanan never answered. What's about after the milah, when you're done? So let's take a look. The halacha is in Hilchos muktzah, Siman Shin Ches. The whole siman is about muktzah. The Shulchan Aruch starts that there's such a thing as a klisha malachti le'isser, l'tzarech gufim mekayimei is mutter. Then the Shulchan Aruch says these are muktzah, which is a muktzah machmas chasar and kiss. Something that's expensive, you makza daita because you just don't want to touch it, a painting, something expensive. That's muktzah, and even l'tzayrich gufim mekayim is also aser. As I talked to Shulchan Aruch, and the Shulchan Aruch says, what's an example? One of the examples is the knife of a milah. Ismo shal milah, Dr. Shulchan Aruch is muktzah machmas chasar and kiss. It's muktzah. Now, so really after the milah, it's muktzah. What's the din after the milah? You're finished. The knife is muktzah. What are you supposed to do? I'll tell you, these two types of muktzahs besides muktzah machmas chasar and kiss. These klisha malachti le'isser. The halacha is, by a klisha malachti le'isser, once you picked it up, a hammer to crack nuts, there's no problem anymore. You can take the hammer, walk with it wherever you want. It's in your hand. You'll go to a different room, take it to your house, wherever you want. That's the din by klisha malachti le'isser. Then there's a a muktzah machmas gufay, let's say stones, or let's say money. So over there, the halacha is, even if it's in your hand, it doesn't make a difference. You have to drop it. You got to drop it. You have to throw it to the ground. You have money in your hand and a rock. You have to drop it. It's not once it's in your hand already you're allowed to move with it. You have to drop it. What's the halacha by Ismail Shal Milah, the knife of the Milah? You said pretty clearly it's muktzah. So if it's muktzah, what's the halacha? Do you have to drop the knife right afterwards? What are you supposed to do? These 4 shitas, what to do with the knife. These 4 shitas. The shitas are Ramah. We'll try to handle all the tzadim. You had it. You picked it up a heter. No, a lipa. Even if you picked it up, if it's doimed to a rock, it doesn't make a difference. You have to drop it. Richtig. We'll get these Ashitas Hamagan Avram here. We'll get Anachanamitak. A good point. The Ramah says, Lagabi Ismail Shal Milah, Umutal Taltal Ismail La'achar Milah Lahatznioi B'chatzer HaMu'uriv. You're allowed to put away the knife. You're allowed to put it away. The Einoit Tzarech Le'oi Beis Shabbos Le'huktzeh B'bein HaShmashes. The Ramah says that this knife it's not a steer to what we had, that a Milah knife is muktzah, because it's an expensive item and a person doesn't want to play around with it. But the Shabbos that you're using it for Milah, you will never maktzah daitoi. You will never maktzah daitoi because you want to use the knife for furish the Ramah. The Hayat Tzarech Lei Beis Shabbos you needed it. I mean, it's not muktzah. The Shach brings it all. He goes on this. Afil Shaloi L'Tzarech Milah is mutter. And that's the Shitas Marshal, which means that the knife is not muktzah. So we have one Shita that the Milah knife on Shabbos of a Milah that's chal on Shabbos, the knife is not muktzah b'chlal. That's the first Shita, Shitas Aramah. The Magen Avram says the whole Shabbos. The whole Shabbos means even Shaloi b'shas HaMilah, even in the morning, even in the evening. Slacha. Right after, the knife, it's not muktzah b'chlal. What was your shaila on Shulik? No, it's not muktzah b'chlal. The Shitas Ramah is that it's not muktzah b'chlal. It's not muktzah. It's not muktzah. And you're allowed to do whatever you want. You could put it down and pick it up. It's not muktzah. The Magen Avram, however, says like this. This that the Ramah brings the Makor from Rabbeinu Yerucham, he brings the Makor from Rabbeinu Yerucham and from the Ramban. The Lashon, this Magen Avram is in Shin Lamed Aleph. The Lashon is, I just read you the Lashon, and that's what the Magen Avram wants to say a little different. The Lashon is mutter l'taltal asakin lahachziroi la'achar hamila. You're allowed to move the knife la'achzir la'achar hamila. The ma'achar shetiltal akli beheter machzir leiz amakim sheter. Tzvi, like you were saying before, the says, you're allowed to move the knife since you picked up the knife by the bris beheter. Once you picked it up beheter, so you're allowed to put it to wherever you want. But zok the Magen Avram, that once you put it down, it's too late. It's muktzah. It's muktzah bein hashmoshes. It's muktzah later. But while it's in your hand, like you mentioned very good before, you picked it up beheter. So kol zman it's in your hand, you could put it wherever you want, take it to your house, take it home. We're going to soon see that that's a little bit not so practical in your hand, because after the Milah, you got to put down the knife. So it comes out, once that comes out, the Shitas Haramah is that it's not muktzah. Zok Magen Avram, it's muktzah. It is muktzah, but you had a right to pick it up a shas the Milah. It was mutter to pick up this muktzah by the Milah. But mainly, even though since you're allowed to pick it up, it's in your hand, you can continue carrying it, take you wherever you want. That's the Shitas Magen Avram. A minute, I want to just be masada the Shitas, and we'll handle with the nafgaminas. The Taz argues on the Magen Avram, and the Taz says it's muktzah if it's muktzah, you're not allowed to be metaltal at b'chlal. Not before, not after. It's muktzah. I agree to what the Magen Avram is saying that it's muktzah, but if it's muktzah right afterwards, you have to drop it. Zok the Taz, you don't have to drop it, but oisay cheder, in that room, you're allowed to put it away somewhere. But oisay cheder. As I zok the Taz. You're going to ask me if it's muktzah, and he doesn't agree to the Magen Avram svara kol zman it's b'yodeh. What's this heter of ba'oisei cheder? Why ba'oisei cheder you're allowed to? So the Taz says these a heter ba'oisei cheder because we have a problem. If we're not going to let the moil put away his knife, he's going to have to drop it. It's going to get ruined. It's going to get stolen. He's going to be mimna. He's not going to want to be mal. You're going to call up a moil. I had a baby. I have a meal on Shabbos. The moil is going to say, "I'm sorry. It's not going to work." He's not going to want to do the meal. He doesn't want his knife to get ruined. Now I'm sure the moilim, they want to do the milas, it's fine. It'll cost them a knife. One second, just the we'll get to that also. Richter, we'll get to that. Avada. So Memela Zok the Taz, you have a heter to put away the knife in that room. If I understand correctly from the Machtas HaShekel, the Machtas HaShekel learns in the Taz that even if you put the knife down, after the Milah, that's always the case. You do a bris and then you put the knife down. Even if you put the knife down, you're allowed to pick it up. This heter of Mimna, you're allowed to pick up the knife again and put it away. Ba'oisei cheder. Ba'oisei cheder is a heter. That's the mashmoyis. Everybody should please take a look in the Machzah Shekel. I think it's pretty clear like that. As opposed to the Magen Avram, the Magen Avram holds that once you put the knife down, it's finished. You have to leave it there. If you're holding it, you could even take it home. But if you put it down, once you put it down, it stays there. The Taz learns something else. The Taz learns that even if you put it down, you're allowed to pick it up. Be'etzem it's muktzah, but we're matter to do muktzah because we don't want the moilim should stop doing brisson on Shabbos. If you take a look in the Bir Halacha, in Hilchos Shabbos, Reish Samach Vav, he brings about tiltal avonim, you have to throw it down. Zok the Bir Halacha, you have to drop it. However, by Milah, by Avonim Asa Leilach Lamaka Macher, Milvad Ismil Shal Milah, this is the Lashon, even if it's muktzah, even though it's muktzah machmas chasar and kiss, zokti bi'alacha kol zman it's biyada, you're allowed to put it away. You're allowed to put it away. Kol zman it's biyada, and he says you're allowed to put it ba'oisei cheder because of the svara that the moil shouldn't be mimna. In other words, he's going with the Taz, but he says the Taz is a heter ba'oisei cheder only kol zman that it's biyada. So I'm not sure only kol zman it's biyada. Pashtus, you learn the Taz, and if you take a look in the Mishnah Brura, which is Meirach about this, is in Shin Yud. The Mishnah Brura brings the Taz, the Magen Avram. When he brings first the Taz, like we just said, and then he says, he brings the Magen Avram in Shin Lamed Aleph. Daitoi sheyesh la hachmer. In other words, he makes the Magen Avram machmer on the Taz. The Taz says just ba'isei cheder, and the Magen Avram says even anywhere. What's the machmer? So he says that kol zman she'izmo b'yodai layanich miyodai. So l'chayra, pashtus, the Taz learns that you're allowed to pick up the knife after you put it down, as long as you don't take it out of the room. But you're allowed to pick up the knife. It's muktzah, but we're machta yuri metalta muktzah. That's the shittas Taz. So the big nafkamina be'etzem is that every time you do a bris, you have to put down the knife to be able to do priya, to do mitzitza, to bandage it. You can't hold the knife. One pretty simple eitzah, which the Rabbi brings, the Mishavura brings it, is give it over to somebody else. This heter of kol zman shebayadi, just ask someone else to help you to hold a knife. That's the what? After you do the bris, ask someone else to hold it. That's a shaila. It's a shaila in Hilchos Shabbos. Also, we'll leave it for now. But you use that eitzah of passing on. Yeah, you're saying he has the heter. The fourth shita is the maril. The maril holds that it's muktzah, just like we had now the Taz the Magen Avram. But the maril holds it's so muktzah you have to drop it. So shita's a maril. It's the maril. The Goyen has a huge arichas, Reish Samach Vav Sif Katan Gimel. The Goyen goes on stark. He says, even though I know that the Darkei Moshe, the Ramah says that it's mutter, he says it's aser. And he goes through all the rayas that this that it's ein muktzah, what the Ramah says, Lachatzi Shabbos, he says, Zok the Ramah, Zok the Goyen, it's muktzah, because you maktzah daite right away, you maktzah daite later, only b'shas maisa. And he says this reason, what the Tas says, that we let you put the knife away because mimna. He says that svara where it's brought from is a Gemara in Beya. So the Goyen, that's only by Yom Tov. Mishum Simchas Yom Tov they were matter. So Mela the Goyen says that it's aser to be metaltal the knife, and Mela you have to drop the knife. You have to drop the knife. So it comes out just to be masakim the shitas. We have 4 shitas what to do with the knife. The Ramah says you could come, go, take it, it's no problem. That's the shitas of Ramah. The cholkim on the Ramah a little bit is the Taz. The Taz says just in that room you could be metaltal the knife even after you put it down. You shouldn't, moilim should want to do the milah. The Magen Avram says only while it's in your hand, even somewhere else, you could walk off with it. And then we have the Shitas Agra that the Goyen holds that it's muktzah lagamri. B'diavad, 1 second, we'll get very good. B'diavad, if you put down the knife, the El Yerabba, the Chachmas Adam, the Mishubrim says mitzada to be mater, because Lamaisa we have the Ramah. But Lamaisa it's a machloikis. It's a machloikis what to do. So what's the eitzah? So I asked around by different moilim. First of all, like Reb Tzvi said, these moilim taka that today they use disposable mahaytaima. These 2 milas in disposable. First of all, it's not a chesaron kiss because it's not expensive. Of course, the dollar, the disposable blade. That's first of all. If you use the whole thing as disposable, if the knife itself, it could still be expensive. So that's one eitzah. It's disposables, and then you let it fall. It goes into the rest of the paper that you roll up. That's garbage. Graf shalrei, no problem. This morning I watched somebody at Bris, someone from Lakewood, so he told me that I saw the Shevet HaLevi, Rav Wosner brings it. He brings that somebody wrote him. Rav Wosner himself says, Be'etzim, you can be meiko, like the Ramah. But he says, this eitzah, that it could be a bosses. The eitzah of bosses is that he said he was going to buy, a nice tabak pushka, expensive, and he'll put it into his suitcase with the milah stuff together with the knife. It has to cost more than the knife. So maybe it's a bosses leheter leisser. It's a big sugi of bosses for itself, but al-kavam you have the heter of bosses. Avada. Yeah. Richtig, very good, well said. It has to be avada that you put it down, you drop it, you put it down right after you're done, right into the suitcase. It's nearby. It's beged the zarka, even yoytze the goyin. Then there's another eitzah. Then these another tzad that many moilim. We spoke last week. Rav Shimon Schreiber, he told me that he knows that moilim the taka move it. It's a different tzad. It's a sakana. To leave your zarg, you leave the knife over there. It's a sakana. It's a very sharp knife, very sharp. It's sakana. And he also told me, like Lipa said, that the Minchas Aluzer, he used to have a chain. He had the knife with a chain as a necklace. And Mamela, so the chain. Good, he's saying that it's a solid, he's saying it was a solid gold knife, Samela Taka blive the tachshit. You said that he wore as a necklace also, even in the week when we're doing. So anyways, that's another eitzah. Today also, the Minkacha and his brother, these moilim that do that also, that they have a chain. What's the din? We'll just... one more nakuda. What's about before the bris? We spoke about after the bris. It's technically muktzah. Before the bris, later Ramah, we don't even have a shaila because the Ramah says it's not muktzah. It's no problem. What's about before the bris? Some have the minig to put the knife under the baby's head. Such a minig. Are you allowed to do it? Are you allowed to put? It's muktzah. The knife is muktzah on Shabbos. During the week you can do it. Shabbos, the knife is muktzah. Are you allowed to do it? Dr. Vosner that you're allowed to. And he says, because this is all b'chlal hachana to the milah. Min hadoima, you find the same idea, which we spoke already about it. If you make the moil a shliach. So one of the ways of making the moil a shliach is you give over the knife you give him the knife. So what's about on Shabbos? Are you allowed to take the knife and give over the knife to the moil? So there's a machloikis in Kairos Abris. He says you're not allowed to. It's muksa. You're not allowed to metal to the knife. Shalei l'tzayrich. In Oitzer Abris, he brings for Rabbi Yashiv that it's mutter for the same reason as we mentioned about putting it under the pillow. Kolze, it's a achana, it's l'tzoyrach. Some say if you have somebody helping you, with the bris and he's passing you all the things, that's also l'tzoyrach achana, and the mela it's mutter. So just what do we have over here? We have that it's us. You're allowed to do the mila even midiraisa fashteitzach midiraisi muchiv to do it in the Gerbana war and Geyser, and then we said that the knife. There's a four-way machlekes about the knife of the mila on Shabbos. Is it not muktzah b'chlal? Is it muktzah lagamri? Is it only afterwards a little bit? And we said these eitzes around what to do with the knife, how to get away with it. And before we said also pashas nichlal in the midst of the ma'isa mila, have mela it's mutter.